Yahar'Gul, the Unseen Village, and the Hypergean Jail. Two areas that, for my money, are Bloodborne's finest. While some may argue for Byrgenwerth or Old Yharnam, I find Yahar'Gul to be the most fascinating. I've read several players hated the area, but I genuinely think that it's one of the most defining parts of Bloodborne. Much like how fellow video essayist Hamish Black argued that Blighttown is the barometer for where players put down Dark Souls 1 or fall in love with it completely, I feel as though Yahar'Gul is Bloodborne's version of that. Everything before this area feels insurmountable, yet once you dominate and master the area, it immediately gives you the strength and belief to power through the rest of the game, knowing that you can beat it. When you first encounter this area, it's likely called the Hypergean Jail. You awake locked inside a cell with no awareness of where you are. How you got there only works to intensify the experience of it all. This moment is what kindled my interest of Yahar'Gul as an area. When playing Bloodborne, or any of the Souls games for that matter, death is an inevitability, multiple deaths even more so. When you die, the loading screen is already etched into your mind. You expect it, and therefore you know that the cycle of madness is about to begin again. In the Cathedral Ward though, when you die to one of the Sackmen, yes, I know they're called Snatchers, but honestly Sackmen makes them sound less scarier, you expect that loading screen. But it never comes. Your screen remains black for a while until... This moment catches you by surprise and, at least for me, symbolises what makes Bloodborne so damn great. In a game where death is a byproduct of gameplay, there are still moments where you are rewarded for dying, whether that be Sackmen carrying you to Hypergean Jail or amygdalas teleporting you elsewhere. When you first arrive at the Hypergean Jail, the map looks a little something like this. Quite small, right? Yet depending on your playthrough, it may very well be that you are severely underpowered against pretty much anything that lurks here. If it's your first time, the odds seem insurmountable, and I love that because this area is merely optional. Once you defeat Rom later on in the game, you now unlock Yahar'Gul in its entirety. You'll notice many things have changed upon arrival. The moon has descended and thus the sky carries this gorgeous orangey purple colour hue. After scouring the area and facing off against the One Reborn, all the pieces of the Yahar'Gul puzzle finally connect. Let's take a look at the monstrosity that is the One Reborn. Look at its core, containing several dead bodies and limbs. It could be assumed that the Sackmen have been kidnapping people to use as rituals for the One Reborn. It's even more sinister then that you could have very well been one of them if not for your escape from the Hypergean Jail earlier in the game. There are various areas in Bloodborne that you can arrive at well equipped and powerful enough to plough through. Remember when we first arrive at Hypergean Jail, just how insurmountable the odds feel and how powerless we are to some of the creatures? From Software does this wonderful thing of recreating that same experience with the now expanded Yahar'Gul. A familiar setting, yes, but you're still bombarded by new and old faces alike. Oh, and some batshit crazy laser shooting amygdalas come out to play. So here's the part I love. Remember this area of the Hypergean Jail and how you get cornered by the old Sackmen. When you return to it in Yahar'Gul, you're probably dreaming of revenge on those puny bastards, except From Software now packs the area with 3 livid, powerful hunters, each one with their own moveset and varying degree of difficulty. That's what I love. The fact that you think you have an area sussed out and then all of a sudden the game flips its head on you. It's a testament to the gorgeous level design of Bloodborne that enemies can be changed but still fit the aesthetic and space of the ones prior. It's a vast improvement on the shambles that was Dark Souls 2's Iron Keep, an area where enemies either reduced or increased depending on, well, nothing. It's just bad. Bloodborne's Yahar'Gul feels as though From Software straight up corrects its mistakes from previous Souls games in regards to returning to areas. Oh, and can we just take a brief minute to talk about the gorgeousness of this area? It might get lost between the cavalcade of insanity that circulates the area, but wow, those creature designs, the way it goes full Lovecraftian on you, the colour of the sky, it's so beautiful. Yahar'Gul is also one of the core hubs of the lore. It's believed that Mikolash and the School of Mensis performed research for the church in the secrecy of Yahar'Gul. There's also that terrifying note found in the area which reads, "Nightmarish rituals crave a newborn, find one and silence its harrowing cry." This ties into Murgo and the wet nurse and links further to Mikolash, especially since the run to fighting him in Mensis is peppered with a child's cry that rings around the area. More than any other area in Bloodborne, the people of Yahar'Gul worshipped the Great Ones directly. You can see statues of people in stances of prayer and worship, and the huge chapels outright devoted to Great Ones, resembling the form of a spider. It makes sense then that the One Reborn, an experiment of Yahar'Gul's, takes the bodily structure of a spider, what with the various limbs and bulky middle. There's so much to infer from the world of Yharnam, and a massive chunk of that comes from Yahar'Gul, which is why I believe it to be the best and most captivating area in Bloodborne. When you first arrive, you're locked in a cell, yet your second time passing through, you are firmly outdoors. It's a metaphorical advancement, one that speaks of how much knowledge and insight you have acquired since. So that's why I love Yahar'Gul, and why I think it's the best area in the entirety of Bloodborne. I'm interested though in your opinion. What's your favourite area in Bloodborne? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.